picture it, Philadelphia, 2013. I'm living with my boyfriend at the time, feeling kind of stagnant. A friend of mine tells me I should join up on the 48-hour film competition, which is basically what it sounds like. It's a competition where you have 48 hours to make a film beginning to end. And I had kind of been interested in filmmaking, but didn't really have the motivation or the know-how, or I didn't know how to break into it. So I thought this was a really good opportunity for me to see what I can do and test myself. And honestly, like I didn't even want to win. I was such a newbie. I just wanted to like make a short film, something cute I could show, and get it in on time. So I sign up for it. I recruit all my family and friends for a cast and crew. I go on Craigslist and I find a video editor because I can edit a little bit, but I needed somebody that really knew what they were doing. And I got a cast and crew. So several weeks later, there's a kickoff event at a venue in Philadelphia. And we all go there, and it's on a Friday at 7 o'clock, and everybody is assigned a genre at random. Our team got musical, which is notoriously one of the most difficult ones. And then the timer starts. So 7 o'clock on Friday, the timer begins, and then you got to go back to the same place, 7 o'clock on Sunday, and drop off your film. Awesome. So we rush home. Friday night, we're writing in the night. Saturday, we are just filming. To Sunday afternoon, when we finish filming, we probably got about 5 hours of sleep over the course of both nights. There's screaming matches in the street, there's tears, there's laughter, but we get to this point and I'm like, all right, like I think we're gonna pull this off. I think we're gonna do it. And the weight of it also kind of really was settling upon me too, because even though I had signed up to do this as a test to see if I could do it, all these other people were relying on me, especially the actors. You know, I was filming them in a short movie and I wanted to make them look good. So we're doing good. I'm like, I think we're gonna pull this off. Until we get to the editing part. Now, I found Danny, we'll call him Danny. I found Danny on Craigslist, and like Craig, you all know about Craigslist, right? And there was something off about Danny and I couldn't quite pinpoint it. But I needed an editor, and I mean, I found him on Craigslist, but like in all fairness, he found me on Craigslist too. So like, what's fair is fair. But I just didn't think he quite had the skills he professed to have. So it's Sunday, we have about 7 hours until we have to drop off this film. And Danny is editing, and I'm looking over his shoulder, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on in this editing timeline. Like, it's a mess. And as we're getting closer and closer, I'm like, hey, Danny, like, can I just jump in there and like, and move? And he's like, no, I got it, I can do it. And I really wanted, he was such a sweetheart, and I wanted him to do it. He was so eager. But now it's like 3 hours left, and we're all getting really antsy, and I can see he's not really getting much closer to finishing this thing. So I'm like, Danny, please let me get in there. And he's like, no, I got it. There's 2 hours left. Danny completely buckles under the pressure, and I'm like, Danny, you get up out of the chair, I'm taking over. So Danny gets up, he goes into the living room, he's crying. Snot's coming out of his nose. He was allergic to the cat we had in the apartment, so he's like, tears, eyes are watering, snot's coming out, he's sobbing. I feel terrible, but I'm just trying to edit and get this thing done. So I finish it up, I hand it back to Danny because I want him to put the finishing touches on because it's his, I want him to take credit for it. And so we book it over to drop it off. And we get to the venue at 6:45, 15 minutes to spare, but we made a newbie error, which was we didn't leave enough time to render the video. So if you don't know, like, you edit a video and then it's got to render, and this is 2013, technology is not as good. It takes forever to render. We're late. Danny starts crying again. And and he's crying because he feels guilty. And I'm thinking like, yes, this is your fault. Like, I am so livid. But like, I channel my, I channel my inner goodness, and I'm like, no, like I'm the team leader. The responsibility falls on me, and I console him, and he's crying, and I'm like, all right, it's fine. But the good news is they're still gonna show it. Like, we're not eligible to win, but they still will show it in the theater. So we're like, great, cool. So we hadn't even watched it because we had just like rendered it, handed it in, and that was it. So we go home and we watch it, and we're like, all right, let's see what we made. We made popcorn. About a minute in, the audio cuts out completely. And we all just are kind of like, watching in horror. We had just handed this in, and the audio cuts out completely. I have an internal, absolute DEFCON 5 meltdown. And I want to put my head through a window. But I stand up and I call the producer of the 48-hour project and I tell him what happened. And I said, you know, this project is already late. Can I please resubmit and give you a good copy? What we submitted is garbage. And he says yes. So I come back in and I said, crisis averted. We can re-edit and we're going to submit the good copy. Fine. And of course, when we saw this, Danny started crying. So fast forward to a couple weeks, there's the premiere event, and so everybody's there. My whole cast and crew, all the other teams, my dad's there, like friends and family, like they're gonna show our short film in a theater. And we're a little bit nervous because, like, you know, we did hand in that bad version, but I handed in the good version. That's the one they're gonna show. So we're all sitting in the theater getting ready. We see our, you know, our title comes up, and God damn it, a minute in, the audio cuts out. And for a second, the audience doesn't react because they think that it's like some sort of like artistic decision, you know? But after a couple seconds, you can hear the gasps. Oh my God, this is not supposed to happen. It was horrible. So imagine you're in a theater and you're seeing images on the screen and there's no audio, it's silent. You can hear a pin drop, except for the people murmuring and Danny sobbing in the background. So we all just sit there, we grin and bear it. It was the most horrible, cringiest 6 minutes of our lives. Everybody in the theater was just praying for a fire or an earthquake or something. I would have been happy just to die right there. But we get through it. We come out, we have a good laugh. Danny left, I don't even know, he had just left the theater, and I felt really bad. My goal was, I didn't really achieve my goals, right? I failed as a team leader. I failed to even make a movie to show at all, let alone get it in on time. But I did have another goal, which I did succeed and actually turned out to be the most important goal, which was it did light a fire under my ass. I participated in the 48-hour film project 5 times since then. I won Best Director the last time. Thank you. Now I am actually a professional video producer, and as a matter of fact, Danny's in medical billing. Thank you.